Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay, and we have a few things to bring to your attention. But first, we have to bring your attention to a shooting that happened at Boulder, Colorado, just in this afternoon, a couple of hours ago. And so this is 2:49 p.m. local time at a supermarket 25 miles southwest of, northwest of Denver, in the Boulder, in the southern part of the Boulder. A gunman just opened fire, and 11 people died as of now. And then the motive, what's the motive? Nobody knows. It doesn't know yet. And as the media said, it's 11-year veteran, and he was arrested. So still, we'll be watching how things develop and bring you an update. Okay, so back to the main topic that we want to bring to you today, which is today there's a nationwide protest against discrimination against Asian.
It's over the weekend.
Over the weekend, yeah. And also today, right? This morning it also happened. Yeah, it is just overflow into this morning, and people are being called to join the protest. Okay. Well, that sounds like, we are Asians. When there's an event calling for stop, discriminate Asian, we like it, right? Okay. But our feeling is very different from the surface. Let's take a look of the event of the site at San Jose. Please play that. This is what happened yesterday morning in the city of San Jose. Tony, if you can.
All people are equal. All people are equal. All people are equal. We are not fires. We are not fires. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate. All people are equal. All people are equal. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, all people are equal. Stop Asian hate. Those are really just, good things to.
Yeah, nothing.
Good message. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong there. However, let's look at what could be wrong. Okay, first, this is in response to the Atlantic shooting. Okay, in the spas, and as of now, there's no evidence. Still, no evidence pointing to that's a hatred against Asian. Okay,
or racially motivated.
Right. And FBI director and Christopher Wray, and he said there's no evidence to pointing that this is a race-related crime. But in the meantime, in the major social media tool, which is a WeChat, as you know, WeChat is developed by Tencent, which is a Chinese company in China, and then there's a lot of discussion and a notice and call for attending this protest. This is one thing. And the second thing, what about this 华人进步会?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an association actually headquartered in San Francisco. It's called Chinese Progressive Association. So, and this association was alleged by some expert who, researched socialism, communism, whose name I interviewed him before at the CPAC, Trevor Loudon. Mm-hmm. He did a lot of research. He, has evidence showing that this Chinese Progressive Party association actually has a relationship with the American in the Communist Party in America, and even had, funding supported by Chinese Communist government. So this Chinese Progressive Association has been calling on the Chinese and Asian Americans to participate in the past weekend's protest.
Yeah, this is just look fishy, right? This is just look fishy. And then, today, that we got some viewers, yeah, they left a message at our the comment and is telling us this. I just want to read this to you, okay? And hopefully I can find it. And anyway, still trying to refresh there. So it is said at 12. Okay, from Mini Z. Apparently, it's a Asian American or Chinese American. I'm sorry, yeah, Chinese American, and he said, "Oh, my family was surprised to get a call at 12 p.m. or this is yesterday, which is 12 a.m. in China. So it's midnight in Beijing, excitedly encouraging us to join the demonstration organized by Grace Meng. Grace Meng is the New York Taiwanese congresswoman.
She's born and raised in China, in United States.
United
though.
States, yeah.
Yeah.
And she has been approached and by CCP delegates for years. They try to win him over, and then the call was from this. The mini continue to write this. The call was from a family member who's a communist. It seemed that he called all his contacts in the U.S. to instigate it. CCP is behind this. Think about it. Okay, in New York, a New York congresswoman, is organizing a demonstration, protest demonstration. Somebody in China at midnight eagerly make this phone call urging his folks in New York to attend. Is that coincidental? In China, you have to understand this. Okay, China is not that much a civic society. Okay, touching upon political issues is always dangerous unless it is encouraged or ordered or told by the regime. That's when they do things. Okay, any public demonstration, any protest on the street of China are absolutely state organized. We're talking about a lot of protests against the U.S. or Japan. It does not happen very often, but when it happened, there's no single one that was started by grassroots effort. So likewise, there won't be such grassroots call into to New York at the midnight of Beijing, Chinatown. Okay, it is told by, ordered by the party. So this is one thing, and then let's look at what happened during this this protest. I think Kathy has some protest aboard, right?
Yeah, pictures
Which one
that
show it
show
to you?
Z1 and the Z2.
what's indeed
We want to
there?
show you what's the message they are putting out there, because they are, there are a lot of messages, but we want to specifically show you these two pictures. It's in Chinese, but something called a Down with
U.S. imperialism, and the other are just the lyrics of a anti-U.S. song. It's called a revolutionary song, a
Yeah,
CCP
actually,
song.
we grew up with those type of songs.
Yeah, and by this guy holding this board, the cap,
green cap.
The green cap that he or she, I don't know, is wearing. Okay, that's the cap of the PLA, People's Liberation Army.
Yeah, the shape
Right.
of it. It's just missing the red star
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah, I can tell you virtually there's no single Chinese American who has no tie with the CCP, with China, would put up a board like this. It has to be ordered by the party saying, do this. This is the message. Okay.
Yeah, and what it's actually saying is, let's move forward. We are soldier. We have strong responsibilities, and the females are so wronged. Okay, but it seems to be
the females'
normal.
suffering is so deep.
Right, it seems very normal, but those are the lyrics from a very old communist
Drama.
party song.
It's called the 红色娘子军, the Red Women's Army.
It's during the Cultural Revolution.
Right.
So, according to our understanding, normal Chinese Americans won't, whatsoever to put out those type of wording. And let's see next picture. Okay, what it shows is all in Chinese, but what it says is against anti-Asian hate, we must include, first of all, to support BLM, Black Lives Matter, and to support to get rid of immigration and ICE.
Yeah.
And
And then the third one is for those sex worker, we should
decriminalize them.
decriminalize them. And then the next one is saying that decolonize this land. I don't know what does that mean.
Well,
this lady should.
They are I think what they are referring to is American. The United States is colonizing.
Yeah. So she means that return this land to the Indian, and she should be the first leading example. She should leave this country. Anyway, the next one is saying that against white supremacists.
Supremacy.
Supremacism. Yeah. The last one is interesting. crush, how to say, what's this, I cannot say this English well. It means crush the father being the head of the family. Okay, that's sort of the meaning. Just take note of this. Okay, this is all this agenda, and I think we share. I share with you contrast. You can contrast this with the 45 goals of the listed in the Naked Communist, right? All those things, those sex, freedom, and then crushed family.
Yeah, crushed. It's called a patriarchy.
Patriarchy. Yeah, do away with crushed patriarchy, and so on and so forth, and eliminate border, eliminate ICE, and things like that. So it doesn't sound like very, any of the agenda. This agenda are the agenda of the Asian American. They are not. I can tell you, I'm an Asian. Okay, I'm here for 30 years. There's most of them are not Asian, values at all, but they put it on. Who put it on? This young lady, she really loved it so much, or somebody told her to put it on. That's our suspicion.
Yeah, and so also I would like to show you a C9. It's a press release from Parenthood in California. They put it out today. They are saying that following last week's hate crime, hundreds of AAPI women in California signed a letter demanding action for Asian American and Pacific Islander women, and Planned Parenthood in California actually led this effort. So you know who is leading those efforts. What we show you is you can see CCP, right? Chinese Communist Party, and the organizations like Planned Parenthood and those who promote those messages we just shared with you, what's on their board.
Yeah, and then let's also take a look at F2. This is a media report by Vox. Vox is quite a leftist online media. And then let's take a look. And you may not feel much about it, but as a Chinese who came from China, came from communist China, whenever I read a sentence like this, my antenna just rise. Activists emphasize that it's important for communities of color to stand in solidarity. All right. So basically, they're gather their people together. Okay, and stand in solidarity. And who's the people on the other side? Pretty much just white people. Okay.
And this type of rhetoric really reminds us of how the Chinese Communist Party used during those movements, the political movements, including Cultural Revolution. They just use these type of words. It just sounds so familiar.
Yeah, it's called mobilize the mass. Mobilize the mass. As I shared with you yesterday, and the day before, right? And I think a lot of people are quite like my sharing. I think the reason is because I was telling the truth. Okay, it is they use the class struggle in China to usurp the power, and in this country they use this race struggle to assert the power. And in China, farmers and the landlords, they were really just interact very well, and then they just it's a very natural ecosystem. But they just convince the farmers that you are the oppressed, and then they are the landlord, they are the oppressor. So in that way, they create a division, instigate them, taking up arms, and they just fight them, and finally they just turn China upside down. So in this country, first they convinced those ladies, right, housewives in the 1960s, saying you are not happy, you should not feel happy, even though you are happy, but you should not. Okay, then they convince the black people, saying you are oppressed, you are discriminated. It's just a fact that simply cannot be changed. This is systematic. This has to do with the nature of this country, and so on and so forth. Then they move on to Asian. They move on to Asian, saying that you are discriminated. You are hated. Hated by whom? Hated by white people. Okay, so you should feel wrong. And then that's why you should join this protest, that's standing solidarity. They are trying to grow their troop so that they can have power, they can have force. Now let's come here, let's explore. Okay, how bad is the discrimination or the hatred against Asian and against black and African American? And I think Kathy looked into some real good data, and which is very illustrating. Let's take a look.
Yeah. So, let the data speak, right? Usually people would say that. So first of all, really, what's the so-called hate crime against Asians has been going on, right? Okay. So, many of us, probably saw or read or hear this report is from Stop AAPI Hate Coalition. It's actually based in San Francisco. It's a professor in San Francisco founded this coalition. So just actually last week, on Monday, I believe, it released a report saying that it has received almost 3,800 reports of hate incidents between March last year to February this year. And over 50% of them are against Asian Americans. But first of all, it didn't really define what's hate incidents. Okay, so that's that. And then it's all quoted, by Reuters report. A Reuters report also quoted a study published earlier this month by the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism. It's a nonpartisan research center, showed this report, and saying that the hate crimes against Asian Americans in 16 major U.S. cities rose by 149% from 2019 to 2020. While overall hate crimes dropped 7% in the same time period. So rose by almost 150% of the hate crime against Asian Americans. Isn't that alarming, right? But what's the truth? Okay, let's show this. I believe that's a Z3. Yeah. Okay. Good job with our DJ. So it's a little bit blurry, but if you just take a look at the last row towards the right corner, it shows that actually the hate crime against Asian from 2019 is 49 incidences. Mm-hmm. In 2020, it's 144. So that's how the 149%, 122, I'm sorry, yeah. 122. So that's how the data of it rose by 149% come from. Mm-hmm. But actually, the data was 49 to 122. And if you look closer, most of the incidences are from cities like San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles, and New York. And who governs those cities?
Yeah. They increased all the cases, 73 of them. Actually 73% of them actually are from the 5 blue cities.
Yeah. So that's the data that Reuters, medias like Reuters didn't show you. Okay. So that's one set of the data I want to share with you. Another sets of data, it actually comes from the United States Department of Justice. There is a Bureau of Justice Statistics. It's a Bureau of Justice Statistics. They have a report about year 2018 criminal victimization. So it's very revealing, and why is that? I will share with you. So first of all, the report states that the long-standing general trend of declining violent crimes in the United States since 1990s, it starting to come back, starting to increase. And especially, it's very noteworthy is from, because the last crime decrease was 2014 to 2015. Mm-hmm. But from 2015 to 16, it had an increase. Then again, it increased from 2016 to 2018. Okay, let's see the first chart. So, because they are talking about race, right? So let's look at the race. So this chart shows the rate of violence and nonviolence victimization. The red underlined race, actually they rose. The ratio rose from 2017 to 2018, which other two races had an increase? That's white and Asian. And you can see white increased almost 4% in a year. Asian increased how much? Almost 6%, almost doubled. But for black and Hispanic,
6%,
it decreased.
Not 6%. But yeah, 16%.
16.
From
7 to 16%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The others meaning like the Hawaii, like all the other races like Native Hawaiian, other Pacific Islanders, American Indians, and so forth, or multi-race.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see this is a set of data. Let's see next. Okay. Those are the comparison of the victims and the offenders versus percentage of the population of each race. So if you look at the victim, which I underlined to the far left, is 66.5%. Those are the victims of the white people. But versus its population percentage is 62.3%. So it's almost equal, right?
A little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for the other races, actually, the victims are almost double their percentage of population, which means, they are victimized more.
What do you mean double? For the other, they are doubled?
Yeah,
Okay.
because their population percentage is 2.4. The victim, the percentage
for the
of
other,
violent...
Exceptions are the exception are the black.
No, I'm talking about who are increasing.
Okay.
Who are, like more than their percentage of population.
Yeah.
So that's others. Then for all the other race, like
Less.
black, Hispanic, Asian, the victim rate percentage are all less than their population percentage.
So you can say comparatively, white, they are victimized more, right?
Right?
More than their portion of the population.
Yeah.
All right.
From this angle.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look at the next one. Okay, that's the victim, the offenders.
Yeah.
So the offenders, the white offenders percentage less than its population percentage, and as well as Hispanic and the Asian. Right? Asian, you see, especially low,
Much,
right?
much smaller.
Right, but the offenders percentage much higher than their population percentage is black and others.
Yeah, guys, can you follow? Can you follow? This is the data from the Department of Justice, okay, in 2018. And Kathy found the original report, and this is the genuine objective data. Okay, we're talking about the offender, which is the perpetrator of the crimes. And you can tell, what's the difference between races. And tell by yourself. Yeah, let's continue on.
Yeah, next one. So this is just basically a summarize offender to victim percentage. You can see white offenders versus white victims is 80%, meaning their offenders are less, right?
Yeah.
But for black, it's 2. It's double. The offender to victim rate
ratio.
yeah. And so you can see that for Asians very low. It's 0.6. Okay. The trend actually coincides with the previous data, as you can see. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, this is this shows the most offenders race and ethnicity are within their own race. So basically, like white mostly just tends to hurt whites, and the black
because they are related,
right?
Presumably,
yeah,
yes.
they have probably more relationship with things like that. So you can see that white is 62%. It's almost their percentage of their population. Black 70%, over 70%. Hispanic 45.4%. Asian 24%. Okay, so let's look at next one. So for black, besides the same race, besides black mostly hurt black, what is the next race, of those cases is Asian. And then the next is white, 24%. Okay, let's look at the next one. Yeah, this is basically, again, just the previous, the summarize of the previous data. And next one. Okay, here it's the last set of data I would like to share with
this
you.
is quite revealing. Just
Yeah.
take notes, bear with us.
So this shows from 2014 to 2018 for each race what's the crime victim rates, right? The victim rates of each race. So it shows that for white, Asian, and the other races, the percentage rose from 2014 to 2018, while for black and Hispanic, the victim rate actually decreased. You can see that, right? For white, 1.07% in 2014 to 2018 is 1.19%. For black is 1.38 to 1.26. For Asian, you can see that 0.46 to 0.67 or 2. I can see that. So actually, 0.67. So if we put into perspective, for white, during those years, the victim rate increased 11%. For Asian, increased 45%. For other races increased 20%. And for black, it went down 9%. For Hispanic, went down 5%.
So actually, over the span of 4 years, the condition of being victimized, and the black and Hispanic, they're improving, right?
Yeah.
They're improving, but it's getting
The data
worse.
is improving.
Yeah, the data shows that it's improving, but for white and Asian and the others, is deteriorating.
Yeah. So when we talk about this, I know, some of our audience don't like we say Asian American or Chinese American or African American. We understand that, and we all agree that actually we are all Americans. There's no like hyphenated Americans. But in order to just to illustrate some of the points, sometimes we have to just mention that. I think our intention, you would understand, it's not to separate us from others. We all understand that. So just to make a note of it.
Yeah, so that's really the data, what the data tells us. And I just want to show you one thing. Okay, today I think a lot of listeners, I'm sorry, viewers, I'm from radio, I always say listeners. Our viewers said, I hope that the Asian American, you Chinese listeners won't fall for this. Okay, and this is Patricia Collins. You said, I hope your Chinese listeners don't fall for this. I'm a black American. Believe in me, this hate does not represent our community. This is very sad. Patricia, thank you so very much. I do have some data to show you that, to show everybody that you are right. Okay, so basically we did our best. We did our best to convince our fellow Chinese American not to go to a protest like this. Okay, and in the meantime, who's getting them to go? The CCP is getting them to go. Is using all their influence to getting them to go. And then, and then look at the Black Lives Matter. Okay, as I said, Black Lives Matter, is that call wrong? No, of course Black Lives matters. Every life matters. But let's take a look at the F3, which is a chart I want to show you. This is a Black Lives Matter Twitter account. It is quite a big Twitter account, a lot of followers. Just look at how many likes and what's the retweets there. 243 and 37.
That's after one day.
Yeah, after one day. Take that into context. I went to Twitter's only 2 months ago. Okay, I built a followings about 36,000, and for a normal tweet, I even got much better than this. What this means that not a lot of black people are just coming here and busy and click on the like at all. Okay, and both Black American and Asian American, or how you call it, Yellow American, whatever it is. Okay, we're being used as tools to advance the communist agenda, the ultra-leftist agenda. This is very vicious. But to us, it's not a surprise at all. It just sounds so familiar, right? In the comment, Winnie wrote that comment about his communist family member calling her at midnight. And I said, this all sounds so familiar. This is the tactic of the communists. They do this all the time. They pick a case that they need. And in the case of the Floyd was
George Floyd.
George Floyd, this is another typical case. Okay, police killing black people. Of course, it's heinous. It's definitely wrong. But just look at the data. Just look at the data that Kathy just showed you, and this is it's going down while the victimization is going up for the white people. But then they run into this case. They make a huge deal out of this. They blow it not just out of proportion. They make this a campaign. They make this into a campaign. Just like the Atlanta shooting, they make that into a campaign for Asian American. They just want to, through this campaign, to them, every campaign is a battle. It's a political battle. Through battle after battle, every time they're gonna gain ground. My fellow, Asian American, Chinese American said, it's not wrong to say stop Asian hate. So we should still go there. I don't believe in this Atlanta shooting issue, but we should still go there to say the right thing. However, what they don't understand, when the media were there, who also went with a purpose, they're gonna paint a different picture. They're gonna paint the narrative that they want to use. They want to promote. They want to, they want to produce. Yeah.
Yeah, so you ask, you hope our Asian Americans or Chinese Americans audience won't fall for that. That's what we shared with them, because actually I personally received such a message from people who attended those protests during the weekend in Los Angeles. They are, I genuinely believe they are more clear-minded than some others, and they know that they don't actually agree with those racial narrative, but they still attended the event saying, we just put out our own messages like we want law and order, all lives matters, all lives all races are equal, and I applaud what they're thinking, but unfortunately, I remind them to check out the Los Angeles Times or some of those media, how they report those events, right? And but hundreds of people went. That's what they want, and so that's how, because you cannot control how the media report such events, and there's one audience saying, are you meaning that the mainstream media is lying to us or the data is wrong? You do your research. We can post the link of the report, which I just shared with you under this program. You just check out yourself, yeah. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I want to cut off Kathy, and which was complained by many of you. Apologize for that. I just cannot help with making this comment. Judy Marshall, one of our viewers.
Yeah, from Iowa.
From Iowa. Yes. Iowan. I'm Iowan too. The left wants to keep us hating each other and wants division. Yes, you are right. I wanted to be more precise. Okay, this is their tactic. How communists work. They want us to become, the true opposition side. Okay, then they want to use one side to dominate and eliminate the other side. After they do that, they're gonna create another division in their mass and eliminate the last loyal one. So everybody will become their tool. One day,
so that they can get control.
Yeah. One way or the other. Sooner or later, everybody will become the enemy of the communists. This is what they are good at. And today, their troops is black people, Asian people, and Hispanic people, and actually women, okay, and the Native Indian. They are the right people. They are by definition, they're the righteous people. Okay, white people, they're the evil people. Just like in China, farmers, peasants, they're all righteous. Whoever landowner class, they are all evil. Everybody's of them is evil. They're just making things just like that. Then they use their propaganda machine and they're making sure everything that fit in that narrative. For things that don't fit in the narrative, they throw it away. And it happened to be there's this gentleman called Christina Ho, who was shot to death by the police. no matter how we call, how the people try to
Yeah. Oh, actually,
promote that idea.
he's actually a teenager. Yeah, a teenager was shot by police, and he's Asian American, right? Again.
Yeah.
So, but the community tries so hard to just raise awareness, but the media just doesn't take any attention to it. But how come this time, last week's tragedy, took so much attention of those media
Yeah.
and some of the politicians, organizations,
Yeah,
right? Because,
that one does not fit in the narrative.
right?
Does not fit in the narrative. Okay, so they don't do it. While in terms of the Harvard admitting schools, admitting students, and then that doesn't fit in their narrative too. So over there they exclude, they discriminate against Asian American.
Yeah,
but
so
over
for-
here this fit in, right?
Right.
They fit in. This is our propagandas fit in our propaganda machine. So they use it. This is how they work. That's disregard the fact.
Yeah, and you can see just from this example of Asian American community, how they divide us, right? So for some of the Asian Americans who agree with their racial narrative, they will just attract them to, hold them together as their own. But for another group of Asian Americans who just doesn't believe those kind of racial narrative, and they believe in a meritocracy, then they suppress them. That's a fact. We all know the Harvard University admission case, right? So just from the Asian American community, you can see how this type of narrative can divide people. Okay, divide the community. And we heard so many cases that in our Asian American families, the parents who are first generation, who just immigrated from China or Taiwan or Singapore, they had difficulty talking to their kids who are born and raised here in the United States. You can see how they separate the family, how they divide the community. And
Yeah.
so I saw Remy Hamilton said, I know that the media is trying to appeal to our emotion to hate each other. So sad. Yes. And that's the very typical tactic used by Chinese Communist government, Chinese Communist Party too. They just instigate your emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, we're American guys, right? We're American. No matter what the skin color, we just judge people by their character, and then nothing else. Skill and character and the diligence and
Yeah. All our rights. We are the same race. Because our rights are given by God, right? We were born with that, and everybody's the same. And so, Wei, I saw Virginia Lopez said, "Love your information on China. What can we Americans do?" What's your suggestion?
At this point,
No, I think
yeah,
that's her question.
Yeah, I think really just a spread. This is again, that's how I see it. Okay, all these communist tactics. Okay, these schemes. Are not hard because we came here, we were immune, right? Like we contact the virus, we have to live with it. We got sick, so we developed this immunization where we can see through that very quickly. But unfortunately, a lot of Americans, they don't know. Okay, American defeat communism from remote, without firing a shot. Okay, defeated from remote. American have never seen the communism close range, firsthand, in front of them. So when the communists fall apart, there's no trial, there's no review, there's no solemn review like a Nuremberg trial. So Americans, don't know about that. I think that the task that God give each of us, give Kathy and I, and give each of you, is to help other Americans learn about this, see through this. If everybody know the truth, the ultra left, the communists, they have nowhere to go. They really have nowhere to go. I believe the very, very powerful thing is something very, very simple. The truth.
Yeah, just spread word about our shows, of our channel to your friends, whoever you know, so that they can also get the information.
Yeah, just even share just one person every week.
Yeah.
I think that's the best you can do.
Yeah, and join us on Safe Chat.
Yeah,
It's-
making sure download Safe Chat, join us there. We still have to stay here because this live stream. Okay.
Yeah.
In the
and,
future, we'll see.
Yeah, in the
But,
future, we'll
just each of you, if you just recommend one person to come to view, watch our show every week, because we have so many things to say. We have so many things to say. Yeah, Kathy and I was discussing what to say. We just have so many things to say. It's really just passing our experience on to you folks. That's enough. We'll get everybody quickly immune. And as this is spread, we'll have this, how to say it, group immunization, right? Or stop this CCP virus. This is the communist virus. This is probably American ACP virus, but it's still the same type of thing.
Yeah, and we have previous shows. Like yesterday, I published a very short show, but I saw the comments. People actually like it. It's an interview with Kenny Xu, the author. So if you haven't watched it, watch it and share it. Another thing is what you can do is just to support us if you have the ability, financial ability, donate to us, and so that we can just. Develop more shows, more information. We can, concentrate more time on doing these shows.
To be honest, I was discussing over the weekend to continue with another English show, and it is difficult. Okay, funding is an issue, but we still made our decision. Okay, please don't donate. Just donate it through this YouTube
box.
way. Do this in the donor box so that we can get every cent of that. So. We think what we have to be here in the long haul. We cannot just look at the short term. So we made the decision. We're going to continue the other news show. I'll share with you what's the name of that. But anyway, it's the battle of truth. It's a battle of information. It's a battle of truth. If we just spread the truth, then each of us is a soldier. Is a soldier on spreading the truth.
Yeah, and initially,
it will be resolved. Yeah.
Yeah, initially when we started to do the journalist work after we immigrated to here, we never thought we were gonna do it. But in order to combat the disinformation from the Chinese Communist Party in this country, okay, a lot of people actually don't understand about that. But we realized that then we thought that the way to defeat the Chinese Communist Party's disinformation in Chinese or in the Chinese community is to start our own media, right? But now we realize that we also have to do in English, so it is not easy thing. But we really appreciate your support. You are the first audience of us, and you've been so great. So we really appreciate it.
And thank you for tolerating our bad English, and some of them even love our bad English. Thank you for that. And Luis Fernandez, you said you are right and doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Together we can hold the line. Yes, let's hold the line, turn the tide, and save America. And also, I think V. Wilkins, and she asked for the data. For the data, source of the data.
Sure.
Yeah, let's post that data in the description of this program so that you can refer to it. And we definitely want to share that with you so that you can pass this on. Okay, I guess that'll be it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys are
so
great.
I just since I found it, I just shared the link with you here, so you can get it.
And RB Spider said you need to get interviewed by Tucker Carlson to get a channel name out there. Yes. I agree.
Maybe you can help us, like tweet to him or something like that.
Connect us to to Tucker Carlson, Shanghai Nidhi, and whoever. Okay, we just indeed, because we are kind of special. We do see that as special. Okay, not privileged at all, because we just carry that immunization. We have that vaccine in our hand.
Oh, joke! Where's your joke?
Huh? Where's my joke? Gosh, who said that? You're challenging me.
Every life matters.
John.
Every life matters.
Every life matters. You give me a hard time. Okay, let me see whether I can respond.
Okay.
All right. Okay. First, it's not much as a joke. Okay, it's just the nature between communism and the free world. Okay, in the conference, in the big international conference after the Second World War, right? Stalin was laughing, was sneering at this and the Churchill, because he lost his he's prime minister, right? In the election, he won the war. He lost the election.
Okay.
He said, Mr. Churchill, you won the war, and your people just removed you. Look at me. Who dare to remove me? All right. So how did Churchill respond?
Right.
Churchill responded very calmly. He said, the very reason I fight this war is to protect the right of the people to remove me. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's not a joke, but it's a solemn thing. It's something that is true, and it's something we need to think about. Okay, and talking about how much esteem that the communist nation, the communist nation's leader enjoy from their people. In China, once they did this, okay, they published some stamps, right? Some stamps.
Yeah. Oh, it's very normal.
Yeah, with like 历代领导人, okay, those the leaders of the
Different generations.
supreme leaders of different generations, okay, Mao and Deng Xiaoping and Jiang Zemin and so on and so forth. This is a joke, okay, take it as a joke. Anyway, so soon, very quickly, within 1 week, they recall those stamps.
Oh, why?
Yeah, because the problem is that the post office cannot quite handle those letters. Because,
Why?
Because the stamps keep falling off. The stamp does not stick.
Oh, what's the reason?
And you think that because the stick, quality is not right?
Yeah, the
they cannot
glue-
stick? No,
yeah.
no, yeah, the glue is perfect.
Okay.
But everybody they only spit on the face of the stamps.
Yeah,
Okay.
In last week's talk between the U.S. and China, the Yang Jiechi, right?
Yeah,
The
Former
former.
foreign minister, and then now he's
Yeah.
a Politburo member.
Yeah, Yang actually quoted a poll from United States saying most of the most of the Chinese people actually really supportive of the Chinese communist
Yeah.
leaders.
Yeah.
And he's so, outright saying that and so proud.
Yeah.
And that's a joke.
Yeah, yeah. It's over there. All the voting record is 100% or 99.7, and then that 3% will be in labor camp soon. And then every life matters. Thank you to keeping me honest here and keeping me diligent. And I don't know whether this one would qualify as as an answer to your question. Okay, that's my joke. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank
right.
you. Take care.
Take
So
care.
we'll see
Good
you
night.
on Wednesday.
See you again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.